Texas, starring Beverly McKenzie.
Good morning. Where's Kevin? Rena, where's Kevin? I haven't the faintest idea. Oh, Iris, he didn't come home last night. Not at all. You quarreled with Kevin? About? Well, you quarreled about something. Oh, we quarreled about everything. Especially Bay City. I told him that he could stay there if he wanted to, but that I was staying right here. This is my home.
I know how much you love Houston, but you're married to Kevin.
Well, maybe marriage is just one of those things that goes right against my nature. That's Kevin now, honey. Oh, Kevin, honey, I'm so glad. Stryker.
Well, just because I'm not Kevin doesn't mean I don't get my hug, does it?
Of course you do. Come and have some coffee with Iris and me. It completely slipped my mind that you were coming, but I'm so glad to see you.
Is it just Iris and you? You mean Kevin isn't in?
Nope, but we don't need him. We'll still enjoy our long, nice drive out to the Marshall's Ranch, and you can buy me that horse.
We are not going to be making that drive today, honey.
We're not driving because we're taking the helicopter, right?
We are not going. Period.
Why aren't we going to the Marshall Ranch to buy me that horse, Daddy? Now, why not?
Because you are not going to be here to ride it, honey. Because you're going back to Bay City with Kevin.
I have the strangest feeling that you're trying to tell me what I'm going to do. And if you are...
Now, don't start, honey. All I'm doing is telling you the way it's going to be.
Well, just why does it have to be this way? Oh, you don't have to tell me. It's some sort of attempt to save my marriage, right?
Suppose it is.
Well, it's too late.
What are you talking about?
It is through. Kevin and I had some big fight last night.
Over what?
Oh, the important thing, Daddy, is that I ended up telling him that I'm staying in Houston, whether he's staying here or not, because I want to, and I meant it.
No, no, no. Now that... You can chalk up that fight to my account.
Oh, Daddy,
yes, you can. I should have left things the way they were before you came home this time. I should never have encouraged you. I should never have promised to buy you that fool horse.
Wait a minute. There's something funny going on here. I see your lips moving and I hear your voice talking, but those words, there's Vicky words, aren't they?
Now listen.
Admit it.
Rena, baby, you are wrong. Your mama and I agree on this. There are not many things that I want that I haven't got. But there's one thing I want more than anything.
What?
I want my daughter to be safe and happy. And to my mind, there's only one way to accomplish that. Now, that is for you to have a safe marriage to a good, strong man. And you have got one in Kevin.
He doesn't want me. I told you he went. He's gone. He told me it's over. He didn't even come home last night. Now, Daddy, you tell me, what kind of a husband is that, huh?
An angry one. Maybe even a hurting one.
What about my hurting?
You love him, Rena?
Yes.
Then I will talk to him on one condition.
What?
That you do your part, too, because it takes two, remember.
Why does it have to take two in Bay City? What's wrong with two in Houston?
Because two in Houston means that one of them is never really going to make a break with her daddy. and is never really gonna become a complete wife to her husband.
What? What? Am I some sort of 2-year-old child? You're talking as if I don't know what's good for me. You can't tell me what to do anymore in my life,
Now,
you know.
that is where you are wrong, honey. Yes, I can. I just did. Now, look, I am late for an appointment in
Stryker!
my office.
Daddy, now, come on, this isn't fair. Daddy, Daddy, you come back here! Oh.
Rena, I'm sorry, dear, but I couldn't help overhearing. Are you all right?
I'll be all right in a minute. I'll be just fine. She's not going to get away with this.
Who?
Vicky, my mother. I know she's behind this little move of Stryker. I can see her hand coming at me through him, trying to take control of my life. Well, if she thinks that I don't know who she is, she's got another thing coming.
I have never seen you like this, so angry.
Well, I'm mad! What? I am going to stop being mad, start getting even. You just watch my dust, honey.
What are you going to do?
You know those killer German dogs, those Doberman dogs? Well, I'm just going to turn one loose on her, honey. Only he's not a dog and he's not a German. He's Ralph Whalen.
Who?
Ralph Whalen, the meanest, no-holds-bar private detective in Houston.
Rena, those people can be dangerous.
Not to the hand that feeds them, honey. Anyway, I've used them before. Only this time it's going to be different. No Mr. Nice Guy for me. I'm going to tell Ralph, you just dig up any dirty, sneaky thing that Vicky ever did.
What makes you think he'll find anything?
He will. Even if he doesn't, so what? I'll just tell him to make something up.
Vicky's on the phone? All right, Terry, put her on. Yes, Vicky, how are you?
How am I? Relative to what or whom? Oh, I'm sorry, Alex. I guess I'm not just very happy today. I need to see you as soon as possible.
Well, I'm sorry, Vicky. It's just been a hectic day of meetings and phone calls. It's just...
Someone has asked me to talk to you on her behalf, and given the circumstances, I couldn't very well refuse.
Oh.
You won't believe it. Iris Carrington.
Iris? Iris has asked you to talk to me? What about Vicky? Victoria.
Well, I can't tell you over the phone. You see, I'm just the messenger, and I was asked to deliver this message in person. But I suppose it will just have to wait until you get off your hectic merry-go-round of phone calls and meetings.
I understand.
Well, then, suppose I come over after work. Will that do?
Yes, yes, of course. I'll see you when you can make it.
Why am I doing that to him? Why am I doing this to myself? What is the matter with me?
What are you doing? Waiting for Whalen. He said he'd be right over.
Really, Rena, to think of turning such anger against Vicky.
There's no one more deserving.
There is no one less deserving.
Shows you how much you know her.
I found her to be generous and gracious, even kind.
You sure you're talking about Vicky?
That's right.
You found her gracious, kind? Kind of what? Are you too much of a lady to say it?
I really wish you would stop this. Rena, we had a long talk, Vicky and I, while you were at the horse show. I was terribly grateful to her for all the time she spent with me. I had a lot of questions.
About what?
About Alex.
Well, they've been friends for a long time, but ye gads to ask Vicky for advice? What in the world'd you ask her?
I told her that Alex had hurt me once, and I asked her to find out for me if he were sincere this time. Well, don't you see? I still need someone to help me decide if I should stay in Houston or not. And she's agreed to help me.
Well, maybe she's maybe I'm the only one she hates him, but I don't care. I'm still gonna get back at her. That's Waylon now.
Well, if you will excuse me.
Do you want to stay and see the fun, honey?
Frankly, no.
Why, hello, Mr. Whalen. What a pleasant surprise. Come on in.
Listen, I hope we can get someplace this time. I still feel a little guilty about not turning much up for you last time, you know?
Well, you tried.
Yeah, and failed.
Well, you just try harder this time, and you can make it all up to me.
Oh, just turn me loose. Who's the party in question?
Same as last time, my mother, Victoria Bellman. I want her defanged, her claws filed, and if possible, hurting.
Oh, that's some order. Sounds to me like maybe you need a lion tamer.
Well, we'll just start with you. Now, I want you to go at it all over again, only this time, Mr. Whalen, no holds bar. I mean, you can go anywhere, any place, but you just bring me something that I can use.
Now, I wonder if there's nothing to find, you know, like last time.
Yeah. If you can't dig something up, maybe you could make something up, just this once.
Make up something?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, now, like what?
Anything juicy.
Well, now, any place in particular you'd like me to start?
She's going to see Alex Wheeler very soon, maybe even today. So when she goes, you be right behind her taking pictures.
And, what if there's nothing to take pictures of?
Well, I don't know a great deal about photography, but maybe you could do some fancy tricks in the dark room, like double exposures.
Double exposures?
Well, whatever it is that you call them. But Waylon, make up or turn up. Whatever it is, you just bring me something that I can use.
It'll cost you.
Not nearly as much as it'll cost Vicky, honey. Not nearly as much.
Kevin Cook.
Oh, Kevin, this is Stryker. I'm so glad to catch you in the office. Listen, can I drop by and see you today?
Oh, Stryker, I don't know.
Look, I won't take much of your time, Kevin, but I really do want to have a talk with you.
Well, if it's about Rena, Stryker.
No, I really can't. No. How about if it's about Rena's father?
Was something wrong?
Well, you know, Bart's been taking care of me ever since I got back to Houston after that spell I had down in Bay City. But he's never developed a talent for explaining things so the man can understand them. I really would like to bring my most recent test results over to you, see what you think of them.
You want a medical consultation?
Yeah, that's right. I'd like some advice.
Dr. Oates, 4-4. Dr. Oates, 4-4.
Come in.
Here, Kevin, these are Stryker's medical records. He called to tell me to ask you for a consultation today, so...
Thank you. Bart, I hope you don't mind Stryker seeking my opinion.
No, I have the deepest respect for your medical judgment and abilities.
Thank you. That's nice to hear.
Kevin,
Yes.
I deeply admire the control and discipline you show in the operating room.
That is my obligation. Part of my responsibility.
But
to my
why can't
patients.
you show the same control and sense of responsibility toward the people you come across in your private life? Don't you think you owe them an
It
obligation?
strikes me you're changing the topic.
The
here.
topic is Courtney Marshall. I have to speak for her sake.
Then what is it you feel needs to be said?
Kevin, since you've come back to Houston, Courtney's changed. I've seen her feelings for you change. They started out as hero worship. Now it's afternoons together and kissing. And what next?
Bart?
I don't want Courtney hurt.
Courtney's the last person in the world I would want to hurt.
But you will.
What makes you so sure?
Oh, Kevin, can you stand there and tell me you don't think a girl like Courtney is going to be hurt by having an affair with a married man? One who's old enough to be her father?
I've thought about that.
Well, maybe you ought to think about it some more.
Think about it more. Thought of little else all day. Courtney, we're making a mistake. We really shouldn't.
Why not?
Smartest thing we could both do now is turn our backs on this and walk away.
But Kevin, if you're leaving Rena, why should we be afraid? I love you. Did I have to tell you that?
So young.
Old enough to know what I want. Young enough to think I might have it. All right, yes, I'm young, but this isn't an adventure for me. My life's too serious a thing to me, and so is my love. I'm not afraid, Kevin. You are.
Yes. Yes, I'm afraid for you.
Don't be. All I want is that man that Rena never knew. The one who only wants to be human, who's placed himself further away than any pedestal could. Show me that man, Kevin. I won't hurt him. I just want him to love me, that's all. Just to love me. Forgot to take off my suit this afternoon. I just put my smock over it.
To do this.
Stay tuned for the next part of Texas.
Well, Stryker, your angiogram looks good. Nothing new seems to have developed. Your electrolyte balance looks good. So let's have a look at the x-ray, shall we?
I certainly do appreciate your taking time with an old reprobate like me.
Oh, you're important to me, Stryker. Besides, checking you over again gives me a chance to take a little pride in my handiwork. Huh?
Uh-huh.
All right, take off your jacket and shirt, will you, please? Oh, not much more pulmonary congestion than before. Oh. Let's listen and see what we can see from here, huh?
Right.
Sit down there, will you?
Yeah. You know, this isn't really necessary.
Well, of course it is, Stryker. If I don't hear what's going on inside here, how am I going to verify the test results, huh?
Well, I'm not really worried about the test results. I just use them as an excuse to get to see you.
I see. Well, then, what is the real reason you came to see me?
Rena? Look, I owe you an apology.
Well, for what?
I should never have made her a promise about buying that stupid horse. I had no business doing that. I had no business breaking my part of our agreement.
It doesn't matter, Stryker.
What?
You see, Stryker, the problem with my marriage to Rena is the marriage itself. It's nothing you did. Believe me. Rena and I are like milk and vinegar. We curdle each other. And that's why, as I'm sure she told you, I'm moving out permanently. It's a pretty unlikely match from the start. A show horse and a work horse yoked together.
It will be different this time.
Why, Stryker? I haven't changed, neither has Rena. I'm sorry, Stryker.
No, it's all my fault. I brought her up. Kevin, there is no one to blame but me.
Be quiet, Stryker, will you?
Look, don't tell me no. What she is, hollow, shallow, empty, vain. I made her be that way. Don't look at me like that, Kevin.
Stryker, sit down, will you, please?
No, look, I know my daughter better than anybody alive.
Please, sit down.
What are you doing? I tell you, I don't need an
Stryker,
examination.
Please, just breathe normally, will you?
Kevin, if I don't get this out, I'm gonna bust.
Stryker, if you're not quiet, you might bust. Please, just ease off. Let me listen.
I don't have much longer, do I, Kevin? Look, I've never begged anybody for anything, but I'm gonna beg you for something, son. Stay with Rena. Go back to Bay City with her, just for 3 months. If you do that, I swear to you, I will have every condition struck out of my will. You won't have to stay with Rena to get all the money you need to support your work. But just give her one more chance. Oh, the hell with this. Look, death comes to every man. I can handle that. But I cannot handle the thought of dying and leaving Rena without your love and support. I'm asking you for 3 months. Over the scope of a man's life, is that so very long?
the scope of a man's life. I'll think about it, Stryker.
Vicky, I'm so glad you came. Drink?
Please. Thank you. Well, I seem to be having a hard time getting started.
Well, take your time.
I thought you'd be half out of your mind waiting to hear what Iris had to say.
Well, I am. But I've been waiting for 25 years with only a dream. So, what's a few more hours?
Oh, I can't do this. I don't know where to start.
Just sum it up for me.
All right, then. Iris doesn't trust you. I didn't think that would surprise you too much.
That would have to be true, wouldn't it? She wouldn't be human otherwise. What did you tell her, Vicky, about my trustworthiness?
I didn't volunteer. Once there was a time I would have told anyone that you were the most trustworthy man in the world to everyone. Friends and enemies alike. But now...
No, of course, I couldn't expect you to push aside your feelings and vouch for me, especially to Iris. Vicky, I didn't mean to hurt you.
Oh? Well, you managed to do it very well for someone who wasn't even trying.
Vicky. Vicky, don't pull away from me.
Well, there's no other direction left for me to go. I certainly can't pull toward you, can I?
Vicky, look at me. I can't escape my feelings, my destiny. And my destiny is Iris. I've loved her for so long that love I have for her has a life of its own, separated from us both.
Oh, please, Alex, this is pointless because... because Iris feels as I do. She feels she can never really trust you, don't you see? I mean, relationships between two people who've been separated for so long can't just be... I mean, you can't just snap your fingers and expect time and everything that time has done to both of you to just go away. You simply can't.
I had no right to think otherwise. Well, Vicky, I guess that means I'm back where I started.
What do you mean?
I still have my dream.
You mean that even if Iris leaves?
That's right. I'll still love her forever. Vicky. Thank you for coming by and telling me what Iris said. It was very kind.
I can't.
What?
What I told you, Alex. That's what Iris said. Those were her words, but it didn't matter. My heart was breaking as she was talking about you with every single word she said. I love him so. I've never loved anyone else. My life is nothing. And all the people I've known are just empty frames along the vacant halls of my life. Compared to him. I'll tell her.
Tell her what?
I'll tell her that you love her as much as she loves you. As much as I love you.
Stryker. Come in.
Kevin?
Courtney?
It's me.
It's nice to see you.
I love you.
I love you.
I think you're supposed to smile when you say that, not look glum.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry about anything else, though, are you?
No. Yesterday was the happiest day of my life. And last night.
Was the happiest night of mine.
And of mine.
Then why do I get the feeling that something's wrong?
Because today is today, and the world is a little bit different than it was last night.
But what happened last night, it was what we both wanted, wasn't it?
It was a moment stolen from time, from the real world.
Kevin, what's wrong?
Courtney, have you ever left a patient and gone to a movie instead?
What?
Answer the question. It's important.
Well, No, of course not. And I never will either.
Why not?
Because I'm responsible for them. You don't walk out on a patient who's totally dependent on you.
Not even if you want to very, very much.
Kevin, we're not talking about patients, are we? We're talking about Rena.
We're talking about responsibility and beauty.
Rena isn't sick, she isn't helpless, and she'll be just fine if you leave her.
For 2 or 3 months. That's all. And she'll fall apart. And no one will ever be able to put it back together.
Why? What's going to happen in 2 or 3 months?
Stryker, her father will be dead.
Stryker? I just saw him.
So did I.
Oh. And you talked about it with him?
Stryker wants me to stay with Rena until after he's gone. And for some time after.
How much time?
Until Rena grows up. When Stryker's death may be a catalyst. I have to be there.
You are choosing to be there.
Only until Rena no longer needs me.
But what about me? And you? And what about the little boy that we found together, what we owe him?
You'll have to wait, Carney. That's all. He's waited a long time already.
He'll die there, wherever he is.
Well, I'm sorry. I can't live my life based on what the child inside me wants.
But you will for the child in Rena.
Courtney, don't you understand? If I were free, I'd live my life for us, you and me.
Well, I'm just finding that a little hard to believe.
You understand?
Right
I have
now.
responsibilities, as you do, to your family.
My family loves me, Kevin. Does Rena love you?
I don't know if she loves him.
Then why must you stay with her?
I have an obligation to her father.
Or is it to his money?
Courtney, please, don't make it difficult for me.
Will there ever be a time for us?
I don't know.
But do you want there to be?
Yes.
I love you, Kevin.
I love you, Courtney. I love you. But I have a duty to Rena.
But what about the duty that you owe to a love that we shared?
What's the matter?
I just want to be alone, Bart. If I wanted company, I would have gone somewhere else.
You're all upset. Look, Court, I'm sorry about that argument we had last night.
Doesn't matter. I just want to be alone. So, please.
No. I'd never let you alone when you're all upset like this. I wouldn't do it to a patient of mine, and I won't do it to you.
Bart, please.
Court, something's wrong, so tell me about it.
I don't want to.
You always used to.
I can't now.
Well, I saw where you were running from. So maybe you don't really need to tell me anything at all.
Stay tuned for the conclusion of Texas.
My goodness, here comes that renowned Dr. Kevin Cook. Now you see him, now you don't. Or did he just come home to pick up his things?
No. No, Rena, I came home because well, I want our marriage to work, if that's possible. I saw Stryker today.
Oh? How nice. What did Daddy have to say?
Both he and Vicky agree we stand our best chance of surviving together back in Bay City.
That's what Vicky thinks.
That's what I think, too.
That's not what I think, darling.
I'm aware of that.
Kevin,
Yes?
do you think that we would be better off in Bay City because that's what you think? Or because that's what you think Vicky and Stryker want?
Well, what difference does it make?
What if they should change their mind?
They won't, Rena.
Oh, I don't know. They just might, Kevin. What I want to know is, if they change their minds, will you change your mind about making our marriage work? Do you think it still could work in Houston? Would you still try?
Yes, Rena. I'd still try. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Good night, Kevin. Come on, Ralph Whalen. Come up with something good. I'm halfway home.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Texas.